So it says, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenges, wish for more wisdom. And I love what he says in this quote, and it's really about how do at the end of the day, I was talking to someone recently, and we were talking about, they were asking me, they had heard about an issue a couple was having, and they have a ton of money and they're really successful. And I said, well, at the end of the day, you know what it shows you is that we all have issues, right? I mean, all of us have issues, and we can go, man, I wish things were easier. Instead of going, I wish it were easier, go, how can I improve? How can I be better today than I was yesterday? Even if it's just a little bit, like slight edge. What can I do a little bit differently today that'll help me perform better than I did yesterday? Or don't wish for less problems. We all have problems. Instead, go, how can I be as skilled as I can, the most skilled person at the table when I'm sitting down with a seller, the most skilled person at the table when I'm sitting down with a buyer? How can I increase my skill set so that I can convert more of my leads? And then don't wish for less challenges, but go, how can I gain wisdom? Well, you know how you gain wisdom? You fail a lot. I was talking in Houston the other day, and I said, um, you know, I could title this talk, I'm a Professional Failure, because I've simply failed forward many times. And every time you learn a lesson and you gain wisdom and you gain experience. So wish for more wisdom, get around the right people. The top agents commit to mastery. They keep pushing themselves forward, even when they struggle or when they fail or when they want to quit, which they do. And so when you commit to mastery, it's all about how can I become the best version that I'm capable of becoming. And then this statement I share all the time with agents: if you treat the business like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. I see agents that go out of their way to avoid the business activities like prospecting, lead generating, talking to people about real estate. They go out of their way to avoid those things, and they do everything else that they shouldn't be doing, and they in their mind go, I've got a business, but the reality is they're treating the business portion kind of like a hobby. They're just sticking their toe in the water and playing with it. And so my challenge to you is go, how can I really treat this business like a business? And it's important to understand the mindset. T. Harv Eker wrote a book called Secrets of the Millionaire's Mind. And in that, he said, our thoughts lead to feelings. So we think about something, we feel a certain way. We think about doing an open house, and we start feeling, it's going to be a waste of my time. It's 2 hours. They never work. I've never had anything good come from an open house. And then we start to feel a certain way. We feel I'm depressed. I got to spend my Sunday at a house, and I want to do something else, which leads to our actions or inactions where we don't take action, or we go and we do a half-assed job at it, and we don't get any results, and we're trying to figure out why the results didn't show up, and we go, well, see, they didn't work. Or you have a thought, you know what, I'm going to go generate as many leads as I can, and I'm going to do this the right way. And then you get excited. You start to feel excited, and those feelings of excitement lead to you taking action, making calls, door knocking, doing all the steps you need to take 3 days before your open house, which then leads to results. You have a successful open house. Is it always going to be successful? No, but the law of average says yes. If you do 2 or 3 open houses a month the right way, you're going to generate leads, both buyer leads and seller leads. So just keep that in mind. And let me scroll through to the open house portion of this note. But I've got a lot of great content in here. So make sure you click that link in the chat and bookmark that link. So I do want to tell you, make sure that you download the KV Core mobile app, and also make sure you download the KV Core Open House app, because the KV Core Open House app lets you create a sign-in tool. So when your potential prospects come in, you can say, hey, thanks for coming to the house. The sellers have asked everyone to please sign in. They sign in on your iPad or your phone or your whatever device, whatever tablet you're using. It's Android and Apple. And they sign in, and it immediately adds them to your database in KV Core and lets you know which open house they came to. And it also begins to send them similar properties to the house that they came through to see, the open house that they came through. And it creates a really nice sign-in sheet. So you want to make sure to download KV Core open house. Went all the way back to the beginning. This is a Savvy card, and if you're not familiar, it's going to go back to the beginning again. If you're not familiar with Savvy card, it's just a virtual business card, and you can click on that link. They used to be free. They're not free anymore. I don't know how much they are, but when I first came to EXP, it was free to have a Savvy card, which is great to send at your open houses. Okay, so let's talk about the open house. Let me open this chat before we get into the open house content. I think it's better if you haven't, well, the app is not for, doesn't work on a laptop, the KV Core Open House app. You have to use a mobile device, a phone or an iPad or an Android tablet. And if you have a tablet, I think that's pretty good because it's you know, it's a little bit bigger and easier. So I have a keyboard on my iPad. I've got an iPad Pro, and I just have it set up, and they can type their info right in. That's what I personally use. But I use an Android phone, and I have the app on my phone as well. So it's either way.
Hey, JD.
Yep.
I have a small issue. For whatever reason, I can't see the chat at all, so I'm unable to pull up the link.
Notes. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this Nina who's talking?
This is Nina.
Let me see if it will send it to you before I get too far in this.
I don't know. The entire chat section is not showing up at all. Oh, Sylvia's saying the same thing.
So you see three dots do y'all see a menu bar that has three dots?
I do. It says more here.
And it should say chat.
Okay, so now I see that it came up privately.
Well, I sent it privately.
Then it just disappeared. Like I don't have a source. Like I don't have an area that says chat. It showed me that you said something, and it showed me what you sent, and then it was temporary, and then it went away.
And when you click on those three dots that say more, if you click on chat, will it pop open?
Let me do it again. I don't have chat in that area. Just disconnect audio, raise hand, or hide my video in gallery view. That's all I have.
Under the three box. Is that what all of y'all see, or do y'all see the chat as well? Someone sees it because they just sent the message. At the bottom of your screen, you might not see the notes. I bet you if you came in after I posted it, that might be why. So let me try to repost them here. Oh, I'm still sending it privately.
I just want to grab it. Oh, there it is. Somehow, like my screen. Okay, whatever. Okay, cool beans. I have it.
It probably opened in a window and then got hid behind a window or something like that. Okay, so no worries. I'm glad that you got it. I want to make sure that you guys got all this stuff. So don't overthink open houses, and don't overthink. I'm speaking in Birmingham, Alabama. So if any guys are near that area, I'll be there February 21st, and I'm doing a power prospecting workshop from 9 to noon. And I'm focusing on this one thing, 41042. And 41042 is something I've been preaching for a long time. If you generate 4 buyer leads every month and add to your pipeline, and work to get 10 active listings as quickly as you can and maintain them, not getting 10 new listings every month, just always maintain 10 active listings. So if 2 went under contract one month, the next month you got to get 2 more listings, so you're back up to 10 active listings. If you did those 2 things, you'd have 4 closings a month. That's it. You'd have 4 closings a month. And I know some of you guys goals, and some of you only need to have 3 a month, but 4 closings a month. And then if you talk to 2 agents a month about EXP, that's the 2. So 4, 10, 4, 2, 4 buyers in your pipeline every month. Get to 10 active listings and maintain that. You'd have about 4 closings a month, and then get in dialogue with 2 people a month about EXP. You would crush your business. Someone looks like they turned on annotations and and wrote on the screen there. Let's see if I can clear that. There we go. So let's talk about open houses, and let's talk about some of the myths first of open houses. People always tell me open houses don't work. People don't come to open houses. Open house is meant to sell the house being held open, and I don't have any listings, so I can't do an open house. You can just show up the day of the open house, and it's going to be successful. Those are myths. Success is predictable. So open houses work if you work the open house and do it like a professional would do it. So I want to walk you through what I do when I hold open and house. And this is exactly this process. I documented it when I was, Noah and I were working together, and he was doing his first open house. I said, you're going to shadow me, and I'm going to show you everything that I did. And so what I'm walking you through right now is actually what we did. So the first thing is I placed an ad in the newspaper on Wednesday before the open house to run on Sunday morning. Now, let me talk about this for a second. A lot of times people say, well, the newspaper doesn't work. I'm not a big proponent of newspaper either. However, people get the Sunday paper, they look in the open house section to see what homes are open, and you better believe if you have a seller, they're going to want to know, did you put it in the paper? What kind of advertising are you doing? So it gives you a reason to touch the seller if it's your listing, to show them what you're doing. If it's not, it gives you a piece that you can cut out of the paper to put into your listing presentation when you're sitting down with a potential seller, and when you're telling them, I do an open house and I do it what I call a mega open house. This is what I do in that process. So on my 1-page listing presentation, those 21 marketing points, in that, it says I do a mega open house, and I explain to them what that means, and I would show them this ad, everything I'm doing. I'm showing them what I do, and not just telling them, so that they see the difference between just throwing some balloons up 30 minutes before an open house. So this is the ad. This is a listing. It was not my listing. I called an agent who's in my market, who's with me at the EXP, and I said, I'm teaching Noah how to do some open houses. You've got a great home right down the road from me. Can I hold it open? And she said, oh my God, I'd love you to do that. The sellers will be fired up. So we did. So on Wednesday is when I placed the ad so that it would be in the Sunday paper. I held this open house from 1 to 4. Sometimes we do 2 to 5. It just depends on what we have going on. And I haven't found like one time is better than another, because it's easy to stay late at an open house. So the second thing is I went to EXP Marketing, and I went into the open house resources, and I did a couple things. The first thing I did was I made a flyer. So have you guys been using EXP Marketing? If you haven't, it's super easy to use. And all you have to do, you guys see this email? This is a sushi chef. My ADD just kicked in. This is a sushi chef who we met at a resort in Houston, my mom, and he emailed me late last night to say, I'm very fortunate to talk with your mom and dad at my sushi bar about EXP. I'm ready to get involved. I'm eager to learn more. That's a pretty cool email. I called my mom just a little while ago. That's why I had it open, to tell her your sushi chef was ready to join EXP. So when you're in Passport, you're going to go into the Marketing Center, and in the Marketing Center, you've got all kind of resources, but one section says Open House Resources, and here it is. And when you click on it, it is loaded. Sign-in sheets, flyers, door hangers, postcards. You can print them yourself. You can have them professionally printed. You've got a checklist here for you on planning an open house. It's just, I mean, there's just tons of stuff in here. I made a simple flyer, and this is the actual flyer of the property. The only thing I would maybe do different on this flyer is add a text capture tool. Some of you are using LandVoice, and you have a text capture tool within LandVoice. Within KV Core, do you all know how to create your own code and capture a lead via text within KV Core and the smart number? That's another avenue, and it's free, and you already have access to it. And if you click on Lead Engine in KV Core, you'll see your smart number, and you type in a code. You might link it directly to this open house, to this property, where it sends them the information. That's the only thing I would do different on this flyer, is put something on there where they text to something and I capture the information. And again, you have it in KV Core, and it's free to use. And there's a video in the help section of KV Core that shows you how to use your smart number.
Hey, Jonathan.
Yep.
On the smart number, if you don't purchase your own number, it goes into a round robin.
Unless you're creating codes. If you're creating codes, it goes in straight into your database. If you just put your smart number on something and someone calls your smart number, it is going to round robin if they haven't been in your database already. So you don't want to use that smart number like to put on your business cards or your signs or anything like that. Now, I don't use this feature. I use a different tool, a call capture tool within LandVoice, but I'm in the lead engine over here on KV Core, and you'll see call capture. And if I click on get started with call capture, all I have to do is add a new text code. I just click add new, and I'm going to type in the code. So I might put the property address or the part of the street address, and then I can link to a specific property if I want them to text to get the property information, or I could just have a message here that says, thank you for visiting my open house, or whatever I want to do. If I want them to get the property, which in this case I probably would, so I'd put in the MLS number right here, the MLS ID. I would put in my message, thank you for attending my open house, and then I select my smart number, and then I click add. Once I do this, it will link this custom codes to my KV Core database, and it won't round robin anybody.
So quick question, it has to be a unique code, right? Because I know I was on a webinar through EXP, and this guy was an agent that was teaching it, and I did the same code he did, and I think that it probably all went to him. Is that how that would work? I mean, would you need a unique code?
You make your code, but if someone else has the same code, it's attached. It is, I don't know the best way to explain it other than what I was told is that I'm reading what Sylvia's saying too. If you create your code here and it attaches to your smart number, it's going to put them in your database. Sylvia, go ahead. I see your hand raised.
I was just going to say that, no, if like, so other people in my region or my area of Michigan, there's only a group of, some of us who have the same smart number.
Yep.
I don't know how many agents it's shared with, but like, so for example, I was showing one of my mentees how to do this, and I discovered this because I was trying to type in a code. I'm like, oh shoot, it's saying it's already exists. And then I realized, oh, okay, because I've already created that. So anyway, it wouldn't let me create the same code with it for that same number. So if let's say I said home is a code, and I already did that for my smart number, I'm not going to be able to create that again for the same phone number.
No one else in your MLS who would be attached to that smart number can create that code home.
Right.
That
that's good.
I had a conversation with the guy from KV Core, and he assured me that any code I created using my smart number would not be round robin and would go directly into my database. However, if I just post that smart number that shows up, this number right here, if I just post that on Facebook or put on my sign or my card and someone calls it and they're not already in my database before they call me, it is going to be round robin. So you don't want to use it for that.
Okay. I have a question about it.
Yep, go ahead.
Do you know when the person texts the code and they're taken to a link, does that link automatically ask them to put their name in, or does it just take them to the website?
Well, it depends on what link that you're going to do. Like if I could make this link, bring them to a landing page where it's going to ask for their name and their email. If I'm sending them to a property and they haven't registered on my site already, it's going to show them the property just like a single property squeeze page. And then it's going to let them see it for a minute. And then it's going to prompt them to put in their information. But it's still going to put that person in my database with their cell phone number, even if they don't register on the property search and put their address, if that makes sense.
Yes. And does KV Core enable us to make landing pages? I don't know if we can actually create a form on that site.
Yeah, you can create landing pages. I'm in the process. Have you guys ever heard of Udemy? I don't even know if I said that right. It's an online course creation, and I'm creating right now a course that's just a self-study course, and it's going to be really inexpensive. I mean, it's probably going to be about $20 to go through the course. And it's going to be a couple hours. It's called KV Core. It's called the Beginner's Guide to Learning KV Core. And we go through everything, every single tab over here on the left-hand side: dashboard, smart CRM, listings, marketing autopilot, lead engine. But that's where you create your lead engines, where you create your landing pages. And it's so easy to do. Like, you guys could create landing pages right away. So you just select your domain under landing pages and click start building, and it pops up a template, and you just fill in this information up here at the top. What kind of landing page is it? I want it to be lead generation. What do you want the button to say? Get my list now. Where do I want them going after they hit that get my list now button? So I put in the URL here. This might be a squeeze page that I created. I could hashtag it so I could search them quickly. I could require a phone number. I could change the background to whatever I wanted, and then I click save. And once I save it, it's going to open up in my browser, and I have to bookmark it. So that's a whole nother class we could spend a lot of time on, and I don't want to confuse you. However, yes, KV Core allows you to build landing pages and squeeze pages, and then you have to bookmark them though. So you'll see I have so here is a landing page that I made, and it's homes for sale in Baton Rouge recently reduced. So when I put in my email, and I say see the list now, remember that URL button that I had the option to put in a minute ago? I created a squeeze page of all the homes reduced. So when I click on this see the list now, it's going to put me in my database. It's going to put the prospect in the database, and then it's going to open up a squeeze page showing all the homes in Baton Rouge that have been recently reduced. So they're getting the information right away.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out if I could use the landing and squeeze page functionality in KV Core to attract people to do like a first-time home buyer thing, or do a KV Core explain sort of thing without, it'll always take them to the website. So I'm kind of trying to find out if I can do something where I get their phone number, email, I can tag it, I can put a hashtag on there so I know what it's for, but kind of take it to a page that's not my website. Is that at all a function?
Let me make sure I'm understanding. And I stopped the screen share and restarted it for a couple people that said their screen was frozen. So hopefully it's back up now. So you're wanting to know if you use a text code on a flyer at an open house, and they text that code, then they're sent to a landing page. Is that what you're asking me?
I know what she's asking, Jonathan.
Okay, help me.
She's saying if yes, Pam. So you could, in a landing page, you could have the URL that it's directed to after they submit their email address or phone number or whatever you want them to submit. It could lead them to like a blog post that you created. You can choose the URL.
It could go to anything. You type in the link. So when I'm in the lead engine over here on the left hand side, when I'm in the lead engine and I'm creating a landing page, there's a button up here at the top that says URL after login. See where I'm typing up here at the top? I can put any domain name at all. And once they hit this see the list now or whatever your button says, get the information, it's going to redirect them to whatever site you put up there. And it doesn't have to be a KV Core site. It could be anything. You can make an agent attraction landing page. You can make this your guest pass landing page to get a guest pass to come into eXp World. And then they're automatically added to your database. Okay, so are your screens unfrozen for the couple of folks that said it was frozen? Okay, perfect. Okay, so in this link, the reason you want these notes is because underneath this flyer, you'll see a YouTube link. And that YouTube link is to a video that I made of a screen share where I show you how to actually make the flyer within eXp Marketing. So on Wednesday, I created my ad in the newspaper and I created my flyer. You can go get an affiliate, a lender or a title company to partner with you and let them pay for the printing of the flyer and put their information on the other side of the flyer. So that it doesn't cost you any money to make really nice flyers. Now, on Thursday and Friday, or you could do it Friday and Saturday, it doesn't matter. But we went door knocking with these first set of flyers and we handed them out. And so here's my script. I just simply knock on the door and I say, hi, my name is Jonathan Dupree. I'm in real estate. How are you doing today? Fantastic. Hey, listen, I just wanted to give you a flyer for an open house that I'm doing this Sunday right around the corner. Maybe you've seen the home for sale, but this is the perfect chance for you to choose your neighbor. If you happen to know anyone who wants to live here in Green Trails, would you please let them know about this open house? And they say, sure, and I give them a flyer. And then I say, hey, also, we only need one buyer, and we're going to have so many people come through that want to live here. Do you happen to know anyone else in the subdivision that's interested in selling now or in the near future? And they might not tell me something right off the bat, but when we did this subdivision, I actually had someone tell me about a neighbor across the street who was telling them they were listing for sale. They were putting their home up for sale by owner, which they did, and we struck up conversation, but at least that person referred me to the neighbor. And so now you're fishing for a seller lead. And then I just say, listen, I appreciate your time. Have a great day. I hope to see you at the open house. Now, I made a twist in my open house from when I did this one with Noah. So one thing you could do, just an idea, you could do your open house from 2 to 5, and from 1 to 2, make it a neighborhood only private preview. So when you door knock in the subdivision, you say, hey, by the way, this Sunday from 1 to 2, we're having a private event just for the neighbors here in the subdivision to come see the house. And we're going to have some snacks. Love for you to come and invite somebody who maybe would want to live in this subdivision. So I heard that and I thought that's a pretty neat idea, and it's something that we've been playing with. So you might want to try that. But I go door knocking on Thursday. We did this one Thursday and Friday on this open house. I also created on Thursday a targeted Facebook ad, and there's a link that's showing you exactly how I did it underneath here. So you'll see that's the ad to the open house, and it reached 493 people because it was extremely targeted to a specific geographical area. 26 people viewed it, 4 people responded to it, and a dentist came who saw this ad. And that dentist I'm still in dialogue with. So that video right underneath shows how to create that and how to boost the post. So how to boost the post. Yes, Tina, I can do that for sure. So make sure you watch the video on how to do the ad. But on Thursday, I did the ad and I started promoting it. I called my sphere of influence starting on Friday to let them know that I was holding a great home open, and I wanted to ask, hey, who do you know that might be interested in seeing it? So let me tell you what this says, rabbit hole story, what that means. So as I was calling through my sphere, I called a guy who lives outside of Baton Rouge, about 20 minutes in a little suburb, and his name is Lance. And I said, hey, Lance, this is Jonathan. Just want to let you know I'm doing this great open house. I know you're probably not interested, but if you have some folks that are looking in this side of town, this is an unbelievable home, and I thought of you, so could you invite someone? He didn't know anyone, but here's what he said. He said, you know, I'm so glad that you called me, though, because my wife and I are thinking about selling our home, which they just built this really nice custom home about 3 or 4 years ago. Said, we're thinking about selling and building again. Could you come over and look at our house and tell us what you think we could sell it for? I said, sure, I can. I can actually come over after this open house on Sunday. How's that? And he said, that's fantastic. So me and Noah, after the open house, went to this guy's house, Lance's house. And his house is about $450,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. And we actually, this was a while ago, this open house, but I've stayed in dialogue with him, and he's almost ready now. He's been doing some things to buy his land, and he's paid off some things and paid cash for his land. He's almost at the point where he's ready to put his home on the market. He didn't want to rent while he built because it would be more expensive than him paying his mortgage. But that listing that we're going to get came as a result of calling my sphere to invite people to this open house. So on Friday, I started calling through my sphere, just saying, hey, I'm having a great open house. I'd love for you to come by and see it. And by the way, if you happen to know anyone looking to live in this area, send them to this open house. I then logged into KV Core and I created some additional open house flyers and printed them outside of the one from EXP Marketing. If you're in KV Core and you go to the house that you're holding open, you can literally print a flyer right from the listing itself within KV Core, and it prints a really nice multiple page flyer. I only printed a handful of those because it's multiple pages, but it gives a lot more information. It does it automatically for you. And I had those kind of in my bag for the people that came through that I knew were really serious about looking at this house and houses in this area, so that I had a nicer flyer to give to them. On Saturday morning, I walked through the subdivision that I was holding the open house, and I knocked on doors again for a second time, inviting people to come. And I actually had a guy that said, I tell you what, I'm not thinking of selling, but if I were, give me your card, because I want someone like you who is aggressive and beating the streets, is the term that he used, to going at it and knocking on doors. So we did that twice. Saturday afternoon, I did a live Facebook video in the event page that I had created for the open house, and then I shared that to my personal Facebook as well. So I wanted to do it on the event page because I wanted to engage with the people who were seeing that boosted post. I also had a sign-in sheet. This was before I had learned about KV Core Open House app, and you'll see it's attached here. So if you click on that in the notes, you can actually open that open house, and that is from EXP Marketing. I created a sign-in sheet there. And then Sunday, I made a post on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Snapchat, and on Twitter about the open house, inviting people to come. And then 3 hours before the open house, I drove around the area and I put directional signs. I put numerous directional signs with some balloons up, because my mom is adamant that you had to have balloons, and if I didn't have balloons, she would have killed me. So this is open house flag we stuck in the yard as well, so that people would see it. We have one on each. This was a side corner lot, so we have one here and one here. And then we went in and we're now ready for the open house. All right. So now people come in. You've done your job on the front end. That's a lot of work, isn't it, for open house? Where most people just go on Sunday right before and go in and hope people come. You've got to do a great job of promoting it. Then people come in. You have to figure out, how do I connect with them? Yesterday, I was having a conversation with Ricky Caruth. I don't know if you guys know him or not. We were having coffee, and it was the most interesting, weirdest conversation I've ever had. Uh, that being said, we were talking about how this is a people business, and I was saying you really had to master communicating. And he said, well, what happens when you have someone who's socially awkward? I said, well, if they're socially awkward and they don't know how to communicate with people, they're going to be socially awkward still. If they learn this, it's a skill set they can learn. So when people are coming in your open house, it's really important for you to learn how to communicate with them and have conversations. So I added to this note, this is from Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. He's got the 6 ways to make people like you. If you want to instantly make this connection with people, then first become genuinely interested in them. Ask them questions. My dentist that came through with his family, they were in swimsuits, they were headed to the pool. We talked a lot. I asked them a lot of questions. And about what they were doing, and why they were looking to move, and tell me about them. And I mean, just had those questions. And then the second thing is smile. So become genuinely interested in people. Smile, look happy. Remember their name. When they tell you their name, I'll never forget this dentist email, because it was dental is what it was. Presidential@gmail.com instead of presidential. And we had great conversations. Um, but remember their name and use their name. Be a good listener. Ask them a lot of questions instead of doing a lot of talking. What has you coming in? I put some good scripts for you in this note section for open houses, and I'm going to show you a couple more in just a minute. Talk in terms of their interests, and then make them feel important, and do it sincerely. Those 6 ways to making people like you are really, I think, powerful, and you can use them in an open house. If you don't know what to talk about, I put this little acronym FORD: family, occupation, recreation, dream home. So tell me a little bit about your family. How many people are going to be living in the home? Do you guys have any kids? So what do you do for a living? How long have you been doing that? Oh, wow, you must really like that. What do you guys do when you're not working? What do you do for fun? What's important to you in the house? Like, do you need a big yard? Do you need a small yard? Where do you want to be, in the city? Do you want to be in the country? Tell me about your dream home. Like, what does that look like? What exactly you're looking for? If you could find your dream home, what would it have in it? So, and then I use Savvy Card, and I immediately send it out to all the prospects that come through. So all Savvy Card is a business card on your cell phone, and I would text it as soon as the person left. And so here's a text conversation. This is the dentist, and I just simply say, Sean, here's my business card, and you'll see that's attached in the text message. Here's my business card. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I enjoyed talking with you. And then we have a mutual friend through conversation. We found out, Coach Dupe, and I said, tell him you met me. It was great meeting you and your family. And he goes on and says, thanks. I can't wait to tell Coach Dupe about our this is a neat word, isn't it? Encounter. He said, I can't wait to tell Coach Dupe about our encounter. So to him, it wasn't just a face-to-face meeting. To him, in his mind, we had an encounter. We had a great conversation. So it's really important that you use those 6 ways to make people like you and really build rapport with your people. I don't think it matters on your Savvy Card if you have a photo or don't have a photo. I really don't think it matters, because you can have a link to your website that has your photo right there on it. But it's up to you, whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to pause here and switch to some scripts, because as people come into the open house, it's I need to move some things on my computer screen real quick. you have your door knocking script, which I've already shared with you, and it's in the note. But then you have scripts for when people are coming in. There's a script, this script emailed to your database is in my script book. But you have people coming in. So buyer comes into the house, and I just simply say, hey, I'm Jonathan Dupree with EXP. How are you doing today? Fantastic. Hey, look, the homeowners have asked that everyone who comes to the house, please sign in. Can I get you guys to do that real quick before you look around? Great, thank you. And I walk them over to my iPad, and they type in the KV Core Open House app. And then I ask them while they're doing that, I say, so how did you guys find out about my open house today? Oh, that's awesome. Excellent. And I let them walk through the house. I'm not like following them like a hawk. I just say, listen, I want you guys to walk around. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be right here. And they kind of walk around. And as I see them pop in a little closer to me, I'm not going to ask every one of these questions, but I'll say something like, so do you guys have an agent that's currently helping you guys with your home search? And where all have y'all been looking? And I listen. Have you seen some homes that you really like yet? Man, that's fantastic. So what prevented you from making an offer on the ones that you saw that you really liked? What price range are you looking in? What lender are you working with? That's a great question. Instead of asking, have you met with a lender yet? What lender are you currently working with? How much have you been approved for? And then I tell them this all the time. This is what I call my magic script, this bottom one, to set a buyer consultation. And it's really simple. I just simply say, well, listen, I work differently than most realtors. I like to meet with my clients, spend a little bit of time finding out about their goals and their needs, and then put together some great homes to go preview, some that haven't even hit the market yet. I could meet you guys after my open house at Starbucks around the corner at like 5 or 5:30. How's that sound? So I work to set an appointment to do a buyer consultation with someone who's come through the open house. I use the same script though if I get an internet lead and I'm calling someone to set a buyer consultation. It's the same script, I just tweak it slightly. So it's important to ask lots and lots of questions. You'll see that's all I'm doing. Here are some conversational topics that you can ask them while they're at the open house. How did you find the home? How long have you been looking for a home? What sites are you looking on? How's the home search going so far? I specialize in helping people find the perfect home at the perfect price. Is that something you're interested in? Sounds like we should meet. Why don't we schedule a time after this open house at the first of next week? How are you currently searching? This is a great question. How are you currently searching for properties right now? Are you looking in other areas or just this part of town? Are you currently working with an agent? If they say yes, I always ask this one, are you happy with that agent? A lot of times people don't realize they can switch agents. And if they say no, I say, have you signed something with that agent? That's my next question. I have a guy, Prashard Cartwright. He works for AT&T, but he did work for Verizon. And I was buying a phone, and when he activated it, it started blowing up and going crazy. And he said, what do you do? I said, Prashard, I'm in the real estate business. Do you happen to know anyone looking to buy a home or sell a home? He said, actually, me and my wife are buying a home. We're looking at homes now. I said, oh, well, do you have a realtor? And he said, yes, I do. I said, are you happy with that agent? And they said, absolutely not. They're not helping us. They're not showing us anything. We kind of feel like we're lost. Have you signed anything with that agent? No, I haven't. I said, well, I can help you. And he just said, I didn't know that that you could help me. I had no idea that you could do that. So ask those questions. Have you spoken to a lender? Have you been pre-approved? When is the best time for you to see properties? This one, I'm assuming that they're going to go with me to see properties, and I'm going to work to set an appointment to help them see them. What's the best phone number and email for you? Now I'm trying to gather their information. Even if they signed in, they might have gave false information. So I want to ask that again. Hey, listen, before we get together, I've got a terrific lender, and they just always seem to get the best rates and programs, and most importantly, they figure out how to get the job done. So would you be open to getting a second opinion on your borrowing options? Just have a different set of eyes, look on what could happen. That's a really good question. When you have a lender that you want to get them in front of. If they live in a neighborhood and they're just coming to see the neighbor's home, I ask things like, how long have you lived in the neighborhood? If you were to sell your home, where would you guys move to? How soon would you like to be there? So what's causing you to move, or what's causing you not to put your home in the market yet? I'd love to schedule a time and preview your home and share with you what I do to get homes sold. I'm going to do something real quick. Let's see how I can do this. Let's see if this works real quick. It might not. I want you to have these specific questions. You don't want to ask all of these. You just want to have them kind of in your tool belt, and you'll have specific ones that you kind of go, these are my go-to questions. I'm going to try to do them in sections for you real quick. Oh, shoot. I sent that only to Tina. There's the first one. And let me all right, sorry, this is the only way I can get them to everybody. I had to resend that second one has got all of them in there. And then let me do this one. That last one didn't get the T in there. Let me give you that last script real quick. There it is. So make sure you copy this chat real quick. Make sure you just copy and paste it in a separate note file. If you don't have my script book, that's where these are. If you have my script book, you don't have to worry about it. If you don't, I want you to have these specific scripts for the open house. So you'll see that there is a lot of effort that goes into doing an open house successfully. You're spending a lot of time, energy, and effort starting on the Wednesday before the open house that happens on Sunday. Lots of lead generating, lots of talking to people, lots of promoting and marketing. Take that note section the link I gave you to the note file you just saw me go through. There are several videos within that you can click on and watch exactly how I did the boosted post and made the ad and used the XP marketing. There are videos all throughout it showing you exactly how I used it. Take the scripts, find you a scripts partner, role play those scripts. Find someone, if you don't have any listings, call someone in your market who's an EXP agent and say, listen, I'd really love to hold one of your listings open, and go ahead and plan now your open house. This is Tuesday, so you could potentially do one on Sunday of this coming Sunday, but maybe it's the following Sunday. My goal is to get you to at least plan it, schedule it, put it on your calendar so that you can start doing it and take action and do the open house. Do it the right way. The best that you can, follow the steps that I shared with you today. And then after the open house, it's real simple. It's just following up. It's like fishing. You're just following up. That's awesome. And I've done a lot of Saturdays, so I keep saying Sunday. Saturday open houses are great too. But it's important to make sure you follow up afterwards, and the follow-up is just simply reaching out to them and going, hey, Sylvia, this is Jonathan. Thanks for coming to my open house. Hope you really liked it. Did you guys see any other homes that you liked? Hey, look, I work differently than other realtors. I circle back to that script. I work differently than other realtors. I'd love to meet with you guys and really learn more about what your goals are, what you're looking for, and I can pull together some properties, some that haven't even hit MLS yet, that would be coming on the market soon. How's that sound? And now I work to set an appointment for a buyer consultation. The goal of an open house, I learned this from Ben Kinney years ago. Ben built his business off of open houses. And he said, if I could just set one appointment from an open house, one appointment, and he did like 4 of them a week. It was crazy. So it's like I knew I could get somewhere between 4 to 5 appointments a week from open houses. That was successful for me. So if you have 4 or 5 people that come through, if you can get one appointment from it, that's your goal. So I want you to make sure you're checking in on the Facebook group. Make sure that you're letting everyone know when your open house is, how it goes, share the results. Don't get discouraged if your first open house, you have one person come through and go, oh, it didn't work. It's consistency. You got to do this time over task over time. You have to be consistent in your efforts. But I will tell you that my son Noah has probably had 3 transactions so far directly as a result of doing open houses, but he does them almost every single Sunday. At least 3 of them a month. He does an open house. So they work if you work. Okay, I'm going to unmute the lines. Any questions, comments that you guys have? Let me know. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Now you guys are unmuted. Any questions, comments, or thoughts before we end today's session?